The Terrible Warriors are brought to you by support from our listeners at patreon.com/terriblewarriors. By becoming a patron today, you'll gain access to exclusive debrief episodes, postcards in the mail, private games run by our GMs, and the custom campaign created for this very game you're about to hear.
I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test. To train them is my cause. I will travel across the land, searching far and wide. Each Pokemon to understand the power that's inside.
Pokemon! We tried to catch them all. Then God told us to stop. So we made a cult about it. And now everyone's battling for their lives. You know, just like the Pokemon memories of your childhood.
Pokemon!
Thanks to Jason Morningstar and the fine folks of Bully Pulpit Games, this version of the Pokemon RPG is played using Fiasco. Now, the Battle Blimp is on a collision course for Mount Moon. Rivalries are on a collision course to their mutual destruction. And childhood friendships are on a collision course right to our hearts.
It's a full-on Pokemon family!
It's the final episode of our epic, near-decades-old Pokemon role-playing game adventure, where in the end we learn that the Zapdos we hated was trapped inside us all along.
Thanks, I hate it.
The Terrible Warriors pull out all the stops for a reunion of best friends and a table full of past betrayals. Oh, a heart so true, our courage will pull us through.
Will you teach me and I'll teach you Pokemon?
Hey there, Terrible Warriors. Welcome to our final episode of this campaign. We are playing through the Pokemon Rocket Resistance? Number 3? I am your boss, Ted. Welcome to the Cult of Celebi. Welcome to the Battle Blimp. Welcome to this, the final tournament of Pokemon. Justin Eacock, and I am surrounded by my table of Terrible Warriors by my right-hand man that is to my left.
That's so confusing. It's Julian Spillane. I'm just picturing Ted as Ted Danson now for some reason. So.
Oh, I love that!
And actually to my right, but not in any way aligned with me.
Bree Poison playing Kai, the leader of the Zapkuza,
Who was actually a Zapdos.
who is actually canonically a Zapdos.
Covered in Yakuza tats.
If you haven't realized that so far, then you haven't listened to the story up to this point, in which case, I mean, good fucking luck,
You really
buddy.
should go catch up and stop listening to this podcast on shuffle.
That one.
Has that ever
Definitely.
worked out for anyone listening to Terrible Warriors? And if it has, I want to hear from you.
Hashtag has it worked for you? On the far end of the table, the good ones.
Hemlo. Hemlo at me, Cassie D20 Love True, playing Basilica, friend of bears and one specific Zapdos.
And that specific Zapdos, of course.
Orie Faulkner playing Coach Z, the green spangled purple hat wearing electric
The
type
intellectually different Coach Zed.
Disappointment.
the positive half split from the same Zapdos into two separate beings. And I'm the cool rapper.
1, 2,
best pal.
1, 2, Zapdos.
Yeah,
One,
You're the
two,
Denver,
one,
the last
two.
dinosaur
Yeah.
of fucking...
Denver, the last dinosaur.
He's my friend and a whole lot more. Oh,
Oh, no.
that song
Dino
is
with
the worst.
benefits.
Ugh.
Coach C, how come you don't zap no more?
I said,
Well, I said
ladies,
ladies.
just give me a chance to do a zap dance. Anyways,
Oh,
that's you
We
know
don't
my
have
bit by
anything.
now.
We don't have it. This is it. The game's over. We're done. We're just gonna riff now
Rip.
for the next 50
Surprise.
minutes.
Now for the
shit.
stunning conclusion.
Oh,
So previously
boy.
on Pokemon Rocket Resistance,
Question
we
mark?
It might not be called that at all. That's why he's doing that.
Yeah.
maybe it's the redemption arc. I don't know.
Previously on, we found
Probably
ourselves
not.
aboard the Battle Blimp, where things were starting to heat up.
Battle Blimp.
It's time for the Battle Blimp.
The
brawl.
tournament was mere hours away.
Why does everyone keep tripping? These floors are so slippery.
Fuck. God damn it, Sakurai.
In engineering,
Ed, the previously unwavering right-hand man of the cult of Celebi, who's already starting to have some doubts about Ted's
But dear old boss.
What is there to
interactions.
doubt about being breathed in by the light of Celebi and ascended into the next stage of evolution?
You know, a few things.
You're not going to be vaporized. That's not how it works.
And so Ted was shocked when he saw Basilica and her friends, and she chirped him real hard, and now he's feeling a little forlorn.
Bare necessities.
But bare necessity. So we're gonna start our first setting with Ed, myself, confronting, or at least trying to make sense of the plan. We're gonna open up in the planning war room of the battle blimp, the place that
Yes.
only the high level members of the cult
We're setting
can go.
out the arena. We're organizing the different teams. We're planning out the final thing. And Ed, what a wonderful, surprising confrontation to see you come in here at this hour.
Ted, I can't help but notice that we are heading towards Mount Moon on a collision course.
Ah, yes. It may look like a collision course, but the plan is to bring it to a stop very, very close to the tip of the mountain.
We're just gonna touch the tips.
Just the tip.
It doesn't make sense. If we're going to be battling, shouldn't we be landing the blimp?
Ed. I put my arm around you and I start walking you around the map. All of this is just a ritual. Of course, don't lose sight of the plans for the future. We are here to become the breath of Celebi. We have spent how many years trying to call down that glorious light to join Giovanni. Tonight, we shall become that light.
But where has our god been? We have not seen any sight of Celebi since that fateful day. And do you really think sacrificing this blimp's worth of Pokemon and humans will...
Sacrifice? Where? There will be sacrifice, of course, but I think it is time I pull back the curtain, Ed. I have had a vision brought forth by our times together, meditating on the light of Celebi, and perhaps this wondrous creature will not return in the way we had imagined, but perhaps we must be the light that we wish to see upon the world.
This is 100% the people who who say the rapture is going to happen on a very specific date. Then afterwards they're like, maybe the rapture happened, but it wasn't quite what I said it was going to be.
Yeah.
This blimp is not just in the shape of Celebi as some icon or an homage. This blimp is Celebi. It is the light of that which we follow.
Ted just beeps on the computer and shows the schematics of what can only be described as a giant, death ray
Inside the blimp.
Inside the blimp.
Yes.
And
When we arrive at Mount Moon, we will position ourselves on the highest ground of the region. And there we will take aim upon the people that we wish to save and ascend. And we will breathe light onto the world. Just as Giovanni was bathed in light, so shall everyone bear witness.
Ed just looks completely shocked and dear God, you're insane.
And the door slides closed.
I've never been more sane before, Ed.
And somehow you didn't notice, I don't know, a 12-foot electric bird just sidling into the room.
kinda
Very high
preoccupied.
ceilings.
Yeah, crackle everywhere I go. And so the last little bit of this has been overheard by your friendly neighborhood Zapuza, who comes in and is like, I had a feeling that you were doing something behind my back, but this is impressive.
I throw my coat of Pokeballs around me. This is a restricted area, Kai. Get ready for the tournament. The final battle will soon begin.
Kai,
just-
run. There
I
is
heard-
no tournament. This fool is planning to destroy us all. I need to warn everyone else.
And so Yeah, go
I
ahead.
tail it out.
Oh, you're gone. You're gone.
I just,
All right.
And I smack the emergency.
Julian left his own scene. So so Kai is gathering electricity. And it's definitely starting to crackle. I mean, we're in a blimp, but I'm sure this is fine. And
It's fine. This is right.
Hindenburg, what?
Yeah.
You may try
That's
to
right.
strike me down, Kai, but these plans have already begun, and perhaps it is my destiny to not see the promised land. Oh, shit.
It seemed like a moment of clarity just before.
Anyway, so Thunderbolt, like, I look, I appreciate you popping off with your whole plan speech, but
Why wasn't that just a death kill right now in one hit?
time appears to be of the essence because I wanted my own death speech.
Giovanni, you did nothing wrong.
just patting you on the head with a wing. It's just like, your plans are never going to come to fruition, my friend.
Meanwhile, the klaxons of the alarm have been sent off, and you can hear Ed's voice over the over the monitors, over the giant PAs. This is not a drill. This is an emergency. All personnel, all guests, all Pokemon to the Drifloon escape pods.
It's just all the klaxons.
I wouldn't trust them as escape pods at all, ever. It's fucking child stealing awful balloons.
Yeah, well, you know what? You're not a child, so you're probably fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Women, men, definitely not children. Please make it to the escape pods.
Ah, shit.
And that's the end of that scene.
Well, that scene happened.
Well,
He's dead.
So do I get a dice?
So how,
I get it. That was my scene. Do I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
how did that go?
You know what,
You're
Justin?
dead.
I think that went well for you.
Well, it was my scene, and
Yeah.
I think it went well for
Ed?
me. I got out. I found out that things are going. I suddenly had some form of a conscience. Not so much a conscience as I realized that this guy was insane, and we were all going to
It
die.
was more a sense of preservation, really.
I've been betrayed by a friend.
I really feel like I got even for a long past offense, you
There
might
you
say,
go.
in doing a murder.
Mission accomplished.
All the little Pokeballs off my coat when you zap me kind of roll off into the ground. They just open up. It's just a bunch of Magikarps.
For all your posturing, they were just Magikarp. Or no, they're filled with clones of
They're all dittos.
of the clones of the Crime Bass.
Oh, crime bass.
Crime bass.
So, did you think did that go well or poorly?
For you?
me.
Yeah, I'd
I
say
feel
it
like
went
that
well.
went well
I'd say
for
that
you.
went well.
Yeah.
And I keep this.
You're all
one.
too nice. We don't have that many good dice.
Yeah, we really don't.
Yeah. Well,
All right.
if we're all being honest with ourselves, like,
Yeah.
that's yeah.
I feel like that went well for you.
So do we now go clockwise around?
We now go clockwise.
So
Okay.
meanwhile, I guess we're on the battle blimp, and all of a sudden,
That catchy music is terrifying.
Wow.
that's their fire alarm drill.
Okay,
This is not a drill.
So
This is actually the escape music.
this is not an excadrill. I repeat, this is not an excadrill. That'd be real fucking confusing. Okay, so the alarms are going off. And
Team Skull's running all over the place,
Yeah.
trying to like.
no, they're
Keep
yeah,
going.
Yo,
Yes, they
yo,
go.
yo,
Yeah.
yo, whoa, thug life.
yeah,
Oh shit, son.
yeah. They're just
For real.
oh man, just fucking flailing around. Yeah, just styling on the entire blimp as they flee. Right.
The
so,
Flare team probably has wingsuits built into their latex. They're just taking off.
I mean,
into the
that
sky.
could be. That could be the case. So Basilica is notably alarmed, as she should be. And she's like, "What's going on? Coach, what do we do?"
You know, this looks pretty bad. I
Yeah.
ain't gonna lie.
Well, we
I
we gotta,
can
Coach. We gotta get out of here.
Just
but can we,
snap cut. I just murdered my nemesis, and then in my brain, it's like, oh, this looks pretty bad.
Because the two of you, every word you say, you can hear in each other's minds.
Yeah.
oh boy. I feel like some kind of confrontation just happened.
Oh shit. Well, sure. Great.
I can't just leave though.
But it's not safe here. We gotta go.
My whole purpose of being.
So Basilica looks really deep inside herself.
Power
Are you-
that's inside.
Promise me you're gonna be safe.
Pokemon.
I'll always be safe. Because you've been at my back this whole time. Now it's my turn to make sure you're all right.
Look
So,
at
like-
that, rolling her eyes.
I pull out the Weedle doll, and I give it
Oh, Basilica
back.
accepts
This'll
it.
keep you safe.
Oh, security plush.
Mhm.
Basilica accepts it with tears in her eyes, and she nods knowingly.
Now I don't need it anymore.
All right, Coach, you be safe. You do what you need to do.
I'll see you when this is over.
You're my best friend.
As this
Like
is
no one ever was.
I love you, man.
Love you too.
Fist bump.
as the tearful goodbye is
Be
happening,
friends is my cause.
Edward rounds the corner. Not so fast, Basilica.
Basilica's like shocked, like turns around.
We have a score to settle.
Do we? Is this really the time? We're all gonna die. We need to get out of here.
And if we die, without having ever settled this, I will be forever unrested in the afterlife. We need to figure out once and for all who the real trainer is.
Why is this necessary right now? What do you want?
This is exactly the time in an anime of the kind we're watching where this would happen.
Look,
Can't-
you guys could just do this on the
Look,
ground.
can't we just can't we just deal with this later? We need to escape.
It's
You
called a
too.
battle blimp.
Yeah, now it is now or never. And with you,
Why? Why is it now or never? This doesn't make any sense to me.
just holding up my Pokeball like,
If you gotta
It's
get
like
to the
crazed
escape,
look
you gotta
at his-
get past
Yeah.
him.
yeah, it's like,
It looks more like he's just not gonna let you leave.
yeah.
Fine. You leave me no choice. Even though, like, what the fuck, dude?
I know.
And then from the other direction, because you're towards the.
They
the
say when
escape
two
drift
trainers'
leads.
eyes meet, they have to battle.
It's true. When you cross my line of sight,
From the other direction.
yeah.
Then from the other direction, Kai comes in.
Is this all one scenario
All
happening
happening in a
all at the
hallway.
same time?
Yeah.
Jeez.
As
well, if it
alarms are
isn't-
going and people are running.
Well, if it ain't who I was looking for this whole time, why am I goofy? Damn it.
Holy shit.
Gorge!
I did not
Gorge!
sign up for
I can't.
Pokemon Kingdom
stay
Hearts.
awake.
I didn't.
Well, shucks, ain't it? If it ain't the Zapdos, it's the other part of my entire being.
Oh. What?
Yep.
I'm seeing double here. 2 Zapdos.
Correct.
Excuse me.
I don't think Orie understands how much I hate Kingdom Hearts.
Good, I'm gonna roll with that.
Great. It's gonna make your hatred even more real.
So you did it, didn't you?
Possible.
So is this still Cassie's scene?
I guess
It
this
is.
is still
Oh yeah,
my
oh yeah,
scene.
yeah.
I think it went poorly.
I feel like it went poorly
You
for
know,
Cassie.
I'm sad about it.
And
but
now
what
I've
can you do?
just
now-
Shanghai'd Orie's scene.
Yeah, this is flowing really.
Yeah, I think this would be
All of
Orie
these
scene.
scenes are
Yeah.
just going very seamlessly.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like
Scene.
Now you have to look me in the eye
Yeah.
while doing Goofy. I'm gonna turn my mic so you have to look me in the
All
eye.
right, let's do
Let's do this.
so you did it, didn't you? You
Backfired
finally
again.
put an end to him. You took a human life.
Wait, now why are you baby cakes now?
I don't know. Aggressive. B-E aggressive.
Fuck. I'm gonna show you baby cakes later.
You
All
took a
right.
human life.
Did it make you feel better? Did it?
Yeah. Yeah, it did. You should take their advice and get out of here.
You should take your own advice. Cause I'm you. And you're me.
And
used to know this was wrong.
And Kai just
I'm
looks
living proof.
horrified at the concept. It's like, no, that's not true. That's impossible.
Search your feelings. You know it to be true. Yup.
I don't know what's happening.
Great.
We have to.
I'm so glad I'm
We
dead.
have to put an end to this separation and come together once more to be who we really are.
Why would I want to join back with, and it just generally gestures at you?
Well, because I got a gun.
Okay, I feel like this scene went very well for Orie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is now going to immediately go into Bree's scene.
Holy shit!
God.
What the fuck is going
And
on?
meanwhile, there's still these bears hanging with you guys. They're all
They're all like,
chilling.
what do we do now? Are we fighting? or sorry,
That-
beware.
that is an issue, yes.
Yeah.
And-
now you have my. Now you respect me.
That's what it takes. That's
what
all
you
it-
needed.
That's
You
what it takes, isn't
needed.
it? All you understand is violence.
Yeah, actually, that's pretty much it.
Holy shit.
Nice to see you finally grow up, Bear.
Yeah, if you do this, you're no better than me, are you?
I guess we're always been the same.
You
and I.
As he levels
And
the
I
gun.
level it with my
Your
claw.
talent.
Yeah, your one talent
Yeah.
on the
You don't
trigger.
have arms.
and like electricity starts to funnel into the gun.
You don't have the fucking balls. You don't have the fucking balls to do it.
I know how to resolve this.
Oh, please do.
Out of nowhere, beware, charging with an alacrity you had not previously seen, sucker punches you, knocking the gun
Gun
out of your hand.
Disarm attack.
He removes
What the heck?
what you thought was his head, but turns out to be a clever disguise, revealing himself to be none other than...
I've got one question for you, Zapdos. Are you a friend or a foe?
And everyone here is like, who the fuck are you?
Who the fuck is this?
It's me. And he looks around like no one recognizes.
No.
And he's like it rips off the rest of the furry suit to reveal the lab coat underneath. The real Professor Oak, the one who invented the Pokédex, successfully resisted Rocket.
then-
We're all looking around,
Thank
shrugging.
you.
And
Thank
then
you.
Basilica's just like,
I've been
"Oh."
undercover this entire time trying to infiltrate this cult.
Both the Zapdoses are looking at each other like, how does this affect our lives?
This whole thing is a death machine. We gotta bring it down.
Okay.
I mean, I was
yes,
planning on
sir?
just flying out.
Both of you have your own thing you gotta sort out. And I get that. But even you, evil version of the one I'm talking to, you won't have a territory to rule over with your Kuzas. If this whole thing goes down, destroying all life on the planet as we know it.
As loath as I am to agree with this yelling man, he is correct.
I'll have you know I have a doctorate from Bill.
From the University of Bill?
The very same. He designed my suit.
Oh, you mean the original subjugator of Pokemon?
Yeah.
That's all in the past now. I have been living. I have been living among the Pokemon, learning the ways of the Pokemon. I have been a beware for the last 3 years, eating, sleeping, making love like a Pokemon.
Oh, I didn't need to think about that.
Well, it's going badly for you.
Real Professor Oak has been given a black die.
If we don't stop this, Celeblimp, this whole place is gonna be destroyed. We won't have any homes to return to.
How long have you been holding on to Celeblimp?
You don't even want to know.
Ed
Well,
turns.
you heard the man.
Yeah, Ed turns,
You're the best I've got. You've all got to come with me.
looks at Basilica. I guess this can wait. For
Yeah.
now,
Oh, this is the same.
Yeah,
room.
I
Okay,
think
yeah.
it fucking can.
Let's
This is
see if
all
we can.
happening in one hallway.
Yeah.
I see,
Yeah.
I see.
I don't know if I can stop this machine. The best I can do is run it into the ground.
Well, okay. Let's see what we can do.
All right, so Ed he runs off, never having unleashed any of the Pokemon he had in his balls, beelines his way to the engineering room, knowing that he can't really stop it from the flight deck and any of that. He's got to go right down and just literally turn off and shut down the engine so it'll just crash right into the ground.
You've already released all the Drifloons, I see. This whole thing's gonna slowly lose its ballast. The real problem inside, though, is the Death Ray. How do we take its power away?
I think we have to destroy it from within. We have to let it crash and break before it can be activated. We have maybe 20 minutes.
Someone's gonna have to go in.
We could probably overload it.
Yeah, it seems within our abilities.
Fiasco, after Team Rocket went and split you in twain, it might take your combined efforts. You're gonna have to work together, you two.
Thanks, I hate it.
It's good to be back, doing the same things.
No.
No.
Brother, my brother.
No,
Tell me
no.
what we fighting for. We got to end this war. as we raise into the air.
Yeah.
Like,
In like a ballet
Yeah.
ballroom.
Kai is leaving, and then you're just following, singing at Kai's back, right? Like,
I came
We'll
here
remain
looking.
in the control room and keep an eye out on your progress.
I came here looking for your respect, but you gained mine. Yuck.
fuck.
I'm Coach Z. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Follow my
Cass,
SoundCloud.
it's on to you now. I gave myself a black die because there are only black dice left. It doesn't matter now.
Yep.
The dice are all black.
Holy shit. Okay.
Except for the last one. The last one's wild.
I guess Basilica takes it upon herself to run around and make sure that there's nobody, no stragglers left on this battle blimp.
And of course, since we're looking at black dice, there are a lot of stragglers left on this cello blimp.
Oh, yes.
Like Team Skull, as we saw, like they're freaking out. Flare flared off. They took away. But we've got like Plasma still around, and they're all like stuck. Some of them are locked behind doors.
And some of the actual trainers who were here just independently answered the call.
The alarms went on. There's Pokemon running free. Others, like, you don't know which ones are part of like Celebi's subjugation thing, and others are like free Pokemon, and others might be Yakuza Pokemon. The Yakuza Pokemon are pretty easy to find out. They're all covered in tats.
yeah. Essentially, so Basilica's just kind of like running around assessing the situation to see how much she can help as many people get out as possible. How does the amount of Drifloon pods situation seem
How many
like?
people can Snorlax carry?
Snorlax fucking owns in this movie.
You can hold at least 10 Pokemon.
He's pulling all the
He's
Pokemon.
pulling all the Pokemon. Excuse me.
You can't pull 10 Pokemon.
That's not right, you dick. That's fucking Pikachu.
No, that's not a Pokemon. That's a Chinese myth dragon.
no dragon.
There's no dragons.
So the answer is 10. He can pull 10 Pokemon.
Yeah. So the answer is that, yeah, I'm trying to like rally up as many sort of free Pokemon around. It's like what can we do to help everybody? We got to work together. We got to get out of here.
Together Forever starts playing.
Yeah. I guess something bad probably.
So what
happens,
ugly
huh?
choice do you have to make? You're gonna, like, I would say, like, let's let you have what you want, but what's the cost?
I take an injury? Question mark.
Perhaps you find a way to get them all off, but there's no room for you,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you're on the blimp.
Yeah.
So
Snorlax can help carry people off. You've got some other flying type that can get them away. And
Yeah.
as they're all going off, you're realizing, like, oh, like there's no more Drifloons for me. There's no.
Yeah. And you know what? If that's what it's gonna be, that's what it's gonna be.
Maybe we have to. Maybe our inevitable battle happens here, anyways.
I guess so.
We're
Oh,
on the
my
victory
bad-
road
bad
now.
dice. Bad dice.
My bear friends are on here with me, and they're gonna. Oh no! All my bear friends.
I mean, can Snorlax? I feel like, I don't know. Snorlax could survive that fall.
He's pretty.
It's a crash though. Like
Well,
like
he can jump out
if
of
he just grabs a
Snorlax-
bunch and just goes
Snorlax
over the
jumping.
railing
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
exist and just goes over the edge.
Yeah.
He's
into the water.
into the water.
True.
And in the event
he'll
of a
just
water
float.
landing, Snorlax can be used as a flotation device.
In the event of a crash.
Dude, I'm pretty sure.
And as we're
Snorlax
losing
can learn
altitude,
surf.
we're all-
Snorlax can learn.
Yeah,
surf.
we're
Oh.
actually so
Snorlax
this
can
one
swim.
definitely did, and we're
Canonically.
losing altitude now too. So we're at a point where it's not just going to be like he could fall into the
Yeah, we've
into
cut all the
ocean.
drift loons. Like the thing is on a downward decline, and Ed's in the engine room just trying to like figure out what to do to get power away from this thing. But I don't think he can do it without the help of our Zapdos friends.
Of our Zapdosian
And that takes
allies.
us to Ori, Coach Z.
Oh. So yeah, so I guess
on
we're
your way to the Celebeam.
yes to the Celebeam. Yeah, so I guess our course of
Celebeam.
action. I guess our course of action is to like physically go
To
where the
physically
beam
go
is.
into where the beam is, and I
Yeah.
think try and overload it with electricity.
Yeah.
Since that is the one thing that we are good at.
Yeah, it's true. We've barely done that this whole time.
I mean, I did a
You did.
I did a murder.
You did
do
do
a
a murder.
murder.
It was very shocking.
But Zapdos will come
are
full
you?
circle here, starting off by being the battery for a power plant
Want to know?
and ending man's hubris.
So I guess-
I'm not happy about it.
I can mentally tell how madder you're getting this whole situation.
Yeah,
And I
just
just, like-
remembering what it was like to be in the power plant. Do you even remember what it was like to be in the power plant?
I actually don't.
Yeah,
Like,
I didn't think
You
so.
took all of the memories of it.
Yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
I definitely chose that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Except you did
Well-
choose that.
Well, yeah, it was.
I mean, I did as a player, but
As
my
part of-
character didn't.
Yeah.
No. I was gonna say perhaps you did. You're still turned into a rotten person, but that first act of existence was to take all those horrible memories on.
No, I feel
No.
like Rocket probably did that in an effort to make a weapon,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, let's
Make you
get
angry.
all
They're
this
trying-
hatred.
All the
I'm-
negativity into this one.
I'm the stuff that like they discarded as like
Pointless.
found useless
you're
to
the
them.
refuse.
Yeah, exactly.
You're just garbage.
Well, now you're getting personal, but that's fine.
That's
How
not
does, how
true,
does this
Coach
go poorly
Z.
for you, Coach Z?
Ooh.
Maybe,
I wonder if-
maybe once we start.
Uh oh.
Maybe once we start.
Maybe this only needs one Zapdos.
Yeah, maybe once we start, maybe there's some cables that I could just wrap
Which
you
is like
in.
garrote.
Yeah, just like wrap you in to keep you there. Because I really feel like I got it. I gave it the push, and now you just need to finish it over that cliff.
if you strike me down, I'll become dead and you'll be alive. I don't want that.
Well, that's funny because that seems to be exactly what I want. As I'm just like slowly flying backwards.
Wait, are you doing that?
No, I've just like put you in the cables, and now
so
you're
I'm stuck. Okay, yeah.
like
and-
against the cell.
and in my-
we
in
got
my
it all
panic-
started. We got this booster going. Now I'm
Yeah.
just gonna let you finish it off. It'll
And-
probably
Maybe-
take everything
maybe
you
we
have.
Just keep going.
in my panic and anger, it's like I unload my electricity everywhere.
The whole
causing a
blimp just
huge
starts to go
area of
boom,
effect.
boom, boom, boom on the outside.
Yeah.
Like
Shutter, like the whole
blimp
thing
is
is
now
shuddering
on fire,
and
and
shaking. Yeah.
it's starting to go down.
oh, look at that! Time to leave.
All right, that's a
Good
good.
thing. Good thing I fly. Bye.
Oh wait. Yeah, never mind. This is how it goes poorly for me. Yeah.
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 Now for you,
I was
you, dear Kai.
You try to leave, but maybe there's an essence now from all the power of the beam, and it's all pulling you back.
Oh, it's actually making like a wee little black hole that's like imploding
You've got
on
a bridge.
itself.
You got a bridge between you and the other Zapdos. You two of you
Mm.
have never been this close together before, and as you're starting to leave, like the polarity of it.
Oh my
is-
god, this is some like
And
end,
maybe-
end of the Amber Spyglass
And you're like,
bullshit.
No, I don't want to go in. I don't want to be with him anymore.
Or maybe you suddenly develop a conscience and want to. Don't
You're hearing
can't
his-
leave your
Oh,
brother
what a
behind.
fine time.
Hearing him screaming.
Yeah, well, how about the death wails from Coach Z?
The more he talks, the more I feel like it's not like
This
him
looks
to
like a
have
good
con-
place to find some ingredients.
Fuck. I get like just outside of the blimp and then stop and look back.
Because you're hearing him in your head too, screaming.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
and
can't
it's
hear
making
him
you remember of what it felt like to be.
in the.
You've done
the
to
power
him what
plant.
they did to you. All those negative memories you had.
Now. It took me 1 second to understand your life of torment.
Just it stops for a minute, looks at the blimp, and then turns around and goes back. Thank you. I'll take
Black
that bad
die.
dice.
All right, real Professor Oak.
All right, Professor Oak.
I don't know how any of these controls work. I've been a bear for 3 years.
Black die.
Oh shit!
Immediate black die.
No, this isn't the wild die, isn't it?
I say yes. Here's the wild die. It could go well for you.
It could go
It
well.
Play it out.
poorly.
Play it out.
That was just my first line.
I
folks.
thought you were just ending it like I don't know.
No, I love it.
Put it down.
In world.
I don't think we can stop it from crashing into Mount Moon. But it looks like the Zapdoses are working. I got your voice now again. I don't know what the real Professor Oak sounded like.
You're stuck with like half your bear accent.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no.
Being a bear for 3 years changed you.
And I get in over the intercom. Oak, if you're going to leave, do so now, because we are very close to crashing.
No, there's no autopilot left. We kind of fried that. Someone's gonna have to pilot this thing.
Well, I mean, I'd rather it be you than me.
I mean, that sounds pretty self-serving, to be honest. I don't know how this thing really works. This is your blimp. This is all kind of your fault.
Great, thanks for volunteering.
Damn it.
Basilica.
Crap. Should
Basilica.
have stayed at the picnic.
Basilica rushes in, trying to kind of assess the situation. Professor, what's going on?
Finally, someone remembered my title.
Yeah, you're the
My
Professor Oak.
honorific. It's the only thing that's important to me.
You are the Professor Oak. What can I do to help? What's going on?
We've deactivated the Celebeam Death Ray. But the blimp's going down. It's gonna crash into Mount Moon, and I don't think we can stop this from happening. But if we don't keep this on course, it'll miss the mountain and go right into a major settlement. We have to keep it on course. We have to let it crash into the mountain and take all of this with it.
You should go. I'll take it.
But you've got such a life to live.
I've done what I can. You have much more work to do in your field. This is important. You should go.
Ed is hearing this on the intercom because he hasn't left yet.
Yeah.
It's like, you are not going to die before we settle this score.
Oh, come the fuck on.
Yes, I do have to go. Now seeing an opportunity brought
Yeah,
in.
no.
There's so much more to learn in this wild and wonderful world of Pokemon. A whole new region to explore.
Yes. Get out.
And I would... Ed
I'll
runs,
leave you to sort out your dispute. Good luck.
Yep, great, thank you. I
Ed
don't know why
brushes
this is
past a
happening to
running
me.
Professor Oak. Pokeball in hand. Finally. Let's do this. I think that's a white die to Justin. Professor Oak lives to corrupt and colonialize another area. And as we begin to figure out what the aftermath is, because that is the end of our scenes,
Yep.
let's recap. We have the two Zapdos twins reuniting as Coach Z is being tortured by the electricity as a throwback to what happened to Kai back in the power plant. Real Professor Oak is trying to beeline his way to an escape pod or get off here somehow. And
I find the Magikarps lying on the ground. I grab one. I'm gonna surf it off the side.
I mean, technically.
It's just like
Can
snowboarding
do.
down the side of Everest. People
Yeah.
have done it.
Yeah.
And Basilica and Ed are about to face off, much against Basilica's wishes, as this blimp on fire is heading towards a settlement.
That blimp is on fire.
And now let's find out how it all went down. So we're going to roll our dice.
Okay.
now. So,
Damn.
we're
You
gonna
were
have
telling
again-
us earlier that we wanted to have big disparate numbers.
Yes.
And I rolled.
Oh, you did. Holy.
No, this is the black die and this is the white die.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I think it canceled out.
So what we're going to do is
Yeah, I did similarly, honestly.
roll your dice again. Add all the black dice together, all the white dice together. Then subtract the higher from the lower. And what is your higher? So in this case, I rolled 6, 7, 8, 9 white minus 5 black is 4 white total. Is my aftermath. And in that case, let's look at the table. That is a white high. Bitter. You know what it's like to be utterly crushed, casually brought low, forced to eat your own words, and stand mute and powerless before your enemies. They gloat and you are helpless. So in this case, when I act out, we're going to go, once we figure out where our aftermaths are, we're going to go around the table, and one for each die we have describes something that happens in the aftermath of this world, riffing off of each other as we go. So let's find out what everyone else got. So I got the bitter, so it's not going to go well. I might not be dead. Maybe I live, but I'm definitely defeated, probably, by Basilica here. What's your total?
So I've got 4 on the white, and that is 11 on the black.
So 7 black is pretty good.
Oh, that's a high. Disparate, yeah.
It's not that disparate, but it's alright, I guess.
More than
Nothing
I
to
got.
write home about. Back to where you started. Maybe sore and broke, just like yesterday and tomorrow. You probably learned something, though, like how to do it right next time.
So
Holy shit, that's like the best outcome I could have asked for.
you're going to end up back on Route 1 where we started you walking with Zapdos earlier in the day. And somehow, at the end of this, you're going to be back on the trail to be a Pokemon trainer.
Yeah.
All right, what's your
Like an
net,
episodic
Orie?
episodic
I
ending.
got 6 white and 2 black.
All right, so,
So
4
four
white.
white.
So the same as
Bitter.
me. You're bitter.
Uh-oh.
You know what it's like to be utterly defeated and crushed
Sure
and
do.
brought low.
Okay.
3,
2 white.
2 white. Oh, merciless. You might not be dead on the outside, but you sure as hell are dead on the inside. The emotional or mental wounds you have suffered will never heal. The future is a brick wall.
Yikes.
So maybe
All
you
right, we're
merged.
back
you're back-
together.
Yeah, that's exactly the last
yep.
thing you wanted.
Together again.
So is this as
Professor Oak.
this is as
Yeah, I
Professor
mean,
Oak now.
it was
I mean, the fate of-
Justin. Y'all killed my last character rather than continue with flashbacks.
Right.
We had Professor Oak hiding in the bearware.
Yeah.
Beware.
Beware.
I love it.
Bearware.
Bearware. Yeah, I
That's
mean,
what's written on
both
the
of those
inside
things-
of Bill's uniform that he had
That's
at Bill.
That's
Bearware.
the brand.
Oh, maybe instead of
Bearware.
surfing off with a Magikarp, he got back into the Bearware suit and it's got like a wingsuit built into the thing. And
Oh
he
my
just,
God,
He just like Just
yes.
Cause 4 off the back of it.
I mean, if you have
Grapple
been,
hook, go!
if you have just been a Beware for the past 3 years, and if you're anything like the Beware that is in the Pokemon like cartoon, you can just fucking run on water at full fucking speed. So
I mean, Oak's pretty jacked.
Well, so with your number,
I rolled 1 black and 8 white.
so that makes it a white 7, which is, hey, you're busted, beat, and broken down, but at least you've learned a lesson about human frailty, right? It'll serve you well.
Professor Oak never learns a lesson.
I'm
about
gonna
human
try and
frailty.
think I can run on water like Beware. And I'm gonna end up being adrift with a Magikarp, washing up on shore in some lowland beach house a
and then
month
you
from
run
now.
and then you run into your cousin.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah,
Ah, cousin!
his cousin lives
Oh.
in Alola.
Yeah,
You got any burgers?
my cousin. So here's how we go through now,
Okay.
and we act it out. We finish up what our character is. So we take a die and we talk about the actions that lead to this
What was my? I just want to write it down.
bitterness. So yours is you're weak, you're busted and broken down, but you survive. For me, I'm bitter, and this is Edward wanting that very last challenge, wanting that fight, but not getting it, as he is abandoned on this ship as it goes down due to his stubbornness.
So is this meant to be in response to you, and then moving on with my kind of thing?
Yeah.
Or okay. So Basilica kind of gives him this speech like, if you had just stayed on the path and remain friends openly and freely with your Pokemon, this all could have been avoided. And now look at what has happened. And it's like, if you wanted my respect, you could have had it.
And he's just bitter and rage-filled and
You need to fight me.
willing to
And-
go down with the ship.
Thanks, Kachan.
And so it's like, she kind of like shakes her head, and kind of runs off in kind of the direction of where the cannon would be in hopes of finding Coach.
All right, Coach.
I'm coming for you, coach.
Take a die.
So
Send me in.
I am also bitter, I believe was
Yep.
where I landed.
Yeah.
So I feel like if we did end up merged again, I don't think it was a proper melding of the two. I think because
All you did was trade tats.
well, yeah, well, for one thing, I'm disappointed because I was hoping to find some sense of wholeness,
Yeah.
and to kind of regain respect from my other half, and I clearly did not, because I was immediately betrayed and then only like begrudgingly helped after. So I think due to my injuries, I think I was just absorbed into you. You're still who you were, but I'm just like a voice in your head forever now.
Oh my god, that's a fate worse than death.
To be fair, he was always a voice in your head.
Yeah, but like
But now I'm just there all the time.
now he's there
just
all
in
the
there.
time. Like he can hear everything. I
Monkey
can
wanna
hear
hug.
just my
yeah.
Oh,
like
now I
some-
could be a total judgy Jason about you like doing shitty things.
It's like some fucking Black Mirror ending.
Yeah.
You gained a conscience by gaining me as your conscience.
oh,
Jiminy Crickets in your brain.
That is a
Which is
fate
not-
worse than death.
It's not the ending I wanted either. We're both kind of upset about this. Yeah.
Yeah, so then
Yeah, so then that means, though, as you maybe, Cassie, Basilica is running in to save Coach, and you witness this absorption. And it's
Yeah.
not a merging, it's you being, Coach being absorbed by Kai,
Yeah.
the stronger one at that time.
yeah.
Now, how does that play into your complete and utter mental defeat, Kai?
I mean, definitely can't go back to being the leader of the Zapkuza with that asshole in my head. I feel like there's a. Oh, here's a good one.
There is a void in the MLM market right now.
Well, I feel like there's a kind of an explosion, right? That knocks Kai out as it happens, and so you run in and you do find a Zapdos on the ground.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh no, Coach, oh no, right? And weather the crash, such as it is, into Mount Moon, and then you have to nurse this Zapdos back to health,
Who's unconscious
who is
until...
unconscious until that, when they do wake up, realizing that, it's been weeks. There's
Yeah.
no way to go back to the Zapkuza now. Like that power vacuum has been filled.
You've lost you've lost
Yep.
face.
I've lost everything I ever worked for.
You're like Giorgio.
Yeah.
From Star Trek
I
Discovery.
gotta start from scratch again.
Pokemon Section 31.
Yeah, and also I'm stuck with this kid who I'm now indebted to.
Hey! I'm not a kid. I was a kid when your twin discovered me, but I'm not a kid.
Well, and I feel like the
All
tattoos
humans look
and
like
stuff are
kids.
no longer recognizable because of the burns.
Yeah.
Like the electricity burns and everything. So you don't even know which one, if not both,
You don't
that
know
you're
how much
talking
of
to.
you don't know how much of your Zapdos is in there.
Yeah.
It's pretty grim.
It sucks for me.
Meanwhile, Professor, because we're just doing scene by scene, so now it sounds like we're going to be getting after me. We're going to be doing a lot more like epilogue stuff now, as we can
Yeah.
even skip through time as we're all in our own places. My dice is going to be just that: finding the beware bearware suit and wingsuit, grabbing a Magikarp and jiving out the back and away is the last thing you see of Oak as he just goes over the edge, surfing down into the ground, and then hits the water with a bit of a thud and is out cold as well. But unconsciously being drifted along by a Magikarp flapping in the water, off in
Crime bass.
some distance.
Crime bass.
Crime bass lives.
And he's just a castaway off with his Pokemon Wilson. That's my dice.
Ed, refusing to acknowledge the fact that he never got his chance at proving himself as the superior trainer, goes down with the ship, rides it out, hoping for the sweet embrace of Celebi's warmth, maybe hoping his
Still a
devotion
believer.
at the very end would save him. He is found in the wreckage, brutally injured but still alive.
Oh.
Burned, scarred, broken, but still beaten, still kicking.
They misidentify you as Boss Ted.
Yeah. Yeah, misidentified as the leader of the cult, still in his robes.
Yikes. That's
That's that stage.
It's a
for me.
yikes for me,
that's
dog.
that's not a happy time. Okay, so in keeping with the idea that I'm just like, well, back to regular life, I feel like in the end, if that's the case, then I would still have my buddy Zapdos in a certain way,
Yeah, nursing them back to
in a
health.
manner.
right?
From a
So
certain point of view.
I guess eventually I come to know that like the two of you have kind of fused in you explaining what's going on, and you've basically
It's one of those things. It's like he won't shut up until I tell you what's actually happened.
Yeah.
Are you're in the head going like, tell her I say hi, tell her what's going on, tell her she's looking
Yeah.
great today.
Yeah.
and because now you have grown a conscience, you've sort of done this thing where it's like, well, I guess I have to cling to this
Or at least have
human
a-
now.
I'm indebted to
You're
this
indebted to
human.
this human, so I guess we're gonna be. I don't. What's that word? Friends.
Accomplices. And you're in the head being like, friends.
This is all the time hangs out,
Business partners.
So we're
You'll get
just hanging out in my house as
I
usual.
will
as
not
usual,
get there.
watching TV and eating chips, and Coach Z is enjoying the chips, and you are not. You're like, what is this crappy human garbage? I don't want to
Why
eat
can't
this.
I stop eating it?
That's the one action I can still take.
You have
got
your gun
one
wing.
talent.
You got your gun wing,
Yeah.
your gun wielding wing.
Oh man.
Well, that's a die.
Yeah.
How does Coach Z take this?
Boy, it sure is weird just being a voice and just a one hand and just not even being able to speak or say words.
So weird fucking Pokemon Octodad.
I mean, you didn't have
Like-
control of the one hand at first,
It's true.
and now you got one hand.
I mean, I can,
Thanks, I hate it.
which I can use for chips and for fist bumps.
Yeah.
You guys.
the prime friendship
Yeah.
things.
Which is how you know I'm still
No,
in
you
there.
don't have your
Yeah.
gun hand.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it covers me pretty well in that like it's really sad for me to not be able to communicate directly with my best friend. But I'm learning to adjust to my new life, which is sort of like my old life, but not quite. And then just slowly starting to understand what made Kai the way she was, just by like having access to her memories as well.
Keep waiting for the twist to be like you can talk, but only when Kai's asleep.
Oh, I like that.
I
It
like
becomes like a
that.
Jekyll Hyde thing.
Yeah. For the first couple weeks, all I can say is like chips.
It comes out like
Yeah.
a hiccup. It'll just
Yeah.
be like, no, I don't want to chill.
For the last time, I don't want any delicious chips.
Kill me.
All right, you got another die though.
Yeah. I'd actually like to kind of go into, because I feel like that covers our history pretty well. I'd actually like to go into what happened to the Zapkuza,
Oh yeah.
which is there was definitely a power vacuum there when Kai was ostensibly killed in this terrible crash. So I feel like our good buddy James went back to the Zapkuza, and everyone, he was there. He saw what happened. Like what happened? And James walks in and is like, yeah. It was a big struggle, and in the boss's final moments, they were like, I want you to take over the Zapkuza, and I was like, no, I couldn't possibly. And
I was gonna say,
no,
he
I
walks right
need
into the
you
leadership
to."
committee, and he comes to the table, and he goes, well, prepare for trouble.
Yeah, so it was, and everyone's like, what does that mean? And he puts his hands down on the desk. He goes, that means we should prepare for trouble. Just snap cut.
And now the Yakuza exists to protect the world from devastation.
To
Amazing.
unite all peoples within our
Amazing.
nation.
So I've got some dice here, and I think like Wall Oaks Adrift at Sea, I was playing Boss Ted, and so I feel like just like you've got some Yakuza bit, I should probably talk about what happened to the Cult of Celebi with my die. The very public display of a flaming Celebi blimp crashing into the side of Mount Moon, which I do believe is a significant mountain in the Pokemon universe. The church and its power loses its sway, and perhaps that lesson that Celebi tried to teach so long ago that was obviously lost and twisted and forgotten is starting to, without this underground Pokemon fighting ring going on, there's also a whole group of newly freed Pokemon from the wreckage and from the people who jumped overboard who are walking around and trying to figure things out. And I mean, anyone want to chip in on what happens here with the church, the Cult of Celebi, in the days and months after?
I think that should tie into Ed, because as Ed is being treated for his burns, his wounds, he's barely recognizable, and he assumes the identity of the dead, deceased Ted.
Dead Ted.
Dead Ted. He assumes the role of leadership.
Because they saw your name tag. It said Ed, but it was burnt and broken.
Yeah.
So it just is like,
Oh,
missing a T.
Oh my god, the twist!
And so the church
That's a twist.
he gets reconstructive surgery to heal it, to recover his burns and his wounds, and
Mirror.
is made to look
Mirror.
more like Ted.
That's how you get Joker.
Yeah. So the church has lost a lot of its influence and efficacy, but he still has the power and the wealth that Ted had accumulated over all those years to try and do something with it.
The war chest of Giovanni.
Bitter and twisted.
Meanwhile,
Yeah.
fucking, I don't know, Basilica goes to say hi to her bear friends in the woods and just go hang out.
Yeah.
Everything is totally normal.
The
Just
bears
like-
made it out safe. Everyone was
Yeah,
fine.
everything's totally
I
cool.
mean, there's no
and I'm just like-
bearware.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Beware.
Beware is not around because he's just
He was just
Oak.
Professor Oak.
Turns out he was a
All
man all
along.
along.
yeah.
And like some of the other Pokemon are like, yeah, that was weird.
But like we're just chilling.
Snorlax
Nice.
takes up for the more leadership role now without Beware around.
Yeah.
So everyone takes afternoon naps.
Yeah.
And those naps last for weeks.
It's nap time.
And we don't have to use all the dice. I think if we feel like our plots are sufficiently resolved, we can resolve them.
I mean, I think
yeah.
mine is pretty like
The rest of my
everything-
day, I
everybody's chill.
liked what you said. I mean, Oak eventually drifts up onto a lowland beach, meets up with his cousin, and goes, "Cousin,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Burgers?
burgers." And then there's a flapping crime bass
Yeah.
that he picks up under his arm.
And
Gonna go try jump.
Oh my god, and then he starts the Pokemon Jump League.
Yeah.
Oh. It all comes together.
And Ted dies or grows old, bitter, twisted, still running the Church of Celebi, but it's tiny and small and evil and sad, and he's learned nothing
It's
and
like
never will.
it's like the two people who were left behind by Heaven's Gate.
Yeah, exactly.
You keep the Celebi website going.
Yeah. It's just
pay the hosting
pathetic
fees.
and sad.
By the way, this is what he looks like. He legitimately is just like a lowland Professor Oak.
Yeah.
He's just Hawaiian Oak.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Yeah. No, he's
Yeah,
legitimately
I
just
remember that. I
yeah.
remember being like, "What the?
The
no,
fuck you
no,
doing here?
thank
Oh.
you."
Hello, cousin. Hello, cousin.
Burger?
Burgers.
Burgers. Burgers on the grill.
It was such a simplified communication with each other.
And so,
Cousin, burgers.
What is his name?
His name is, I believe, Samson Oak.
Oh, so it is an oak.
yeah.
Yep, he's an oak. Professor Samson Oak.
Pair of withered oaks.
So as we close out this bizarre game, we have a once kindly aspirational trainer turned into bitter husk of a man.
It's like then when Kratos is on the God of War throne going, I hate this.
Yeah.
Much as
this shit.
Julian began back in 2012
Yeah.
when we started this.
This is
Pokemon
just
journey.
an analogy for
autobiographical.
life. We have a Zapdos showing reunited, showing signs of the old good self peeking through. Maybe a full recovery will be made, and Kai will be pushed into the receding personality, or maybe
Coach Kai.
Coach Kai.
Kai.
Kai Z.
Is that like King Kai? And he was a
Yes.
coach?
Yes.
Hello, Darker.
Keep waking up with this damn hat on my head.
Good,
I
George.
just put it
And a
back on.
medallion.
Yeah.
Basilica goes on to become one of the world's most foremost Pokemon trainers because of her love and admiration for the Pokemon that she has and works with.
Yeah.
And one day you get a little box with a folded up Beware suit.
It's a Kigurumi.
Yeah,
It's a
just-
Beware
it's just like,
Kigurumi.
keep you warm in the winters.
Yeah, I love it.
A postcard of him Professor Oak eating a burger with his cousin.
Yeah.
Little postcard. I wish you were here eating burgers.
And the world maybe is not as dark as it once was when it started. This is the end of Pokemon.
Yay!
What a weird fucking game.
Holy shit, that ended for me a lot better than I thought it was going to. I thought it was going to be like broken and very,
I've never
very,
seen a
very
roll that
sad.
good or an outcome that good in this game before.
Holy
Yeah,
shit,
actually.
I lucked out so hard.
You had a concern going in.
I had a deep concern. I thought I was going to like lose my best friend and just be like broken and missing him the rest of my life and be super, super sad.
Only sort of.
Only sort of.
Yeah.
Only sort. He's still there eating chips with me and fist bumping me, so
I
we're
feel
still
like
best
being
friends.
best friends with Kai now is a little more interesting though. It keeps it spicy.
Yeah.
Definitely of the few times that I've played Fiasco on this show, I think this is the one time where the world we left is better than it was when we started.
Our action movie 9.
Oh yeah, where Orie steals the helicopter.
Oh yeah.
Live from the crater.
I was seeing shades of that with you as the religious zealot.
So thanks for joining us. Thank you, everyone here at this table, for coming back out to reprise like a 3-year-old story that no one except Julian remembers.
This is awesome.
Julian only because he went back and listened
Yeah,
to it like a
you
fucking
cheater.
champ.
Yeah, I cheated.
And
I remember bits and aspects of it for sure, but
I
definitely
literally
not, like,
only
the whole...
remembered Money Shot the Wheel.
yeah, I mean that was all like before my ADD diagnosis as well. So I was like hopped up on sugar and just completely losing my mind, and I don't remember anything from those games. Yeah. So I have been Justin Eacock, playing Boss Ted and the cameo appearance of the real Professor Oak.
I'm Julian Spillane playing Punished Ted, taking on his new role.
as the now Boss Ted.
Yeah.
I have been Cassie D20 playing Basilica, the friend of the bears, and also still friend of the Zapdos.
And I'm Orie Faulkner. I've been playing, Goofy, Coach Z,
Borat for a little
Borat,
bit. Zanafia
y-
Grizzer.
just a little bit of playing just a host of just weird nonsensical shit.
Baby cakes at some point. There was also baby cakes in there a little bit.
I guess so.
You're gonna learn. You're gonna learn, bud.
I need to.
I'm Pre-Poison playing the false god of the Zapkuza, Kai. And I mean, I'm going to plug it anyway, even though it's going to be over by the time this comes out. Sayer hit its goal for another season Kickstarter.
Yay!
So, looks like depending on stretch goals, I might also be voicing Doki Doki Space Boyfriend, but it looks like Porter might be coming back because she only got muted in most of the towers, so Just saying, I might
And
get
just
to be
because-
my very good elevator girl
Just because
again.
she's muted to the human population
And
also
just
doesn't mean
because
she doesn't
she's-
get to speak to the others.
Yeah, look, I've read all your fan fiction. I've seen what you've done. So it's time to come back and set it straight.
Maybe she stowed away back to Earth.
So we'll see what's up. But so I'll be here. I'll be there. It's gonna start up in the summer again, probably.
Yeah.
So
Keep track of that. That's a lot of fun, and it's been really neat to be able to kind of see the production from the background on how Sarah's been put together.
Justin
It's a lot
sits
of
in the
fun.
room and watches me read the script sometimes, and it's I make him sit out of my eye frame so that I can't see the faces he's making.
Voice acting is hard.
Yes.
Are
So-
we plugging
Plug
plugging
your
things?
shit.
Plug around.
Yeah.
I'll be plugging it. They're also in the show notes too. If you're listening to this and you're like, oh, what the hell? Go through and click through. They're in the
Yeah.
episodes.
Yeah, for sure. Check out the game that I'm working on, Mecha Puppers. That's MEKA Puppers on Twitter and on Facebook. It is a tactics turn-based RPG with customizable mechs and dogs that pilot those customizable mechs.
And you can pet them now.
You get to pet them. It's very, very important.
You
It's
can.
actually
Yeah.
it's actually
Get-
integral to the mechanics.
Get that Twitter account. You can pet the dogs in Mecha Puppers.
Yes, please.
Yeah, get them to get that.
Get on, please.
If you want to check out what Orie and I have been working on, you can go see the movie, the FP2 Beats of Rage, that we scored a bunch of the film for, a bunch of the music for. It's I think it's still in Alamo Draft Houses right now in the U.S. By the time this airs, it might be scattered at different festivals. I actually don't know what its release schedule's like, but home movie and Amazon versions are in the works over the next few months, so you'll be able to watch it and enjoy that. We're also working on a game that won't be out for a while that isn't officially announced yet. But
That's
if
true.
you like the fighting game styles of Power Stone, if you remember that game, or if you just like really fun, frenetic platform fighting action, check out Mighty Fight Federation. We're Fight Mighty on Twitter.
And hey, if you like my music in FP2, or if you like some of the themes that I've done for Tabletop Warriors over the last couple of years, I did the score or the soundtrack to a video game called Way of the Passive Fist.
It's so good.
Yes.
Oh, thank you very much.
It's so good, guys.
It's currently out on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Steam, and at the time of hearing this, it should be out on Nintendo Switch.
Hey,
I'm so
So
excited
check
for it.
that out.
Yes.
Switch it up.
Yeah, I really,
Hey.
I dug that soundtrack when I picked it up. Like, it's just jamming. Like, it's the
Aw,
kind of
thanks,
game, like,
man.
you got a good soundtrack in a game, you just stop playing for a bit, and you just start listening to the song, and you just, if it still plays when you put it on pause, you just end up cranking the music because it's muted at a touch, so you can just listen to it. And in terms of my plug, Terrible Warriors as well, we partnered up with the Stormcrow Manor, where we run games for people. You can reserve a table, you can get yourself a fixed price menu, and you get an appetizer and a main course, as well as potentially me. There's a whole roster of DMs you can reserve.
you heard it here, folks. You can purchase Justin.
You can buy me. You can buy me for 4 to 5 hours of your time, and I will run you a game. And by default, Stormcrow Manor assumes Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, but any game that you have heard me run or even probably participated in on Terrible Warriors, I am there for. I've got all these games piled up in my apartment, and I'll play through that game. I ran through a game
I
of...
promise there are many of them. I live
There are
with
lots.
them.
The
There
la-
are a great many.
The last game we did here on the podcast, Forbidden Lands, I ran a one-shot for that at the Stormcrow Manor, and I mean, I am there for you. If you reserve the table, you request me, you get a little section where you could type in the name, and you can request your games and get in touch. We'll work something out. And so that's dmdineto.com, and yeah, that's kind of a neat little thing. And that might be stuff you're going to hear over the summer on the podcast, where I'm hoping to meet up with the DMs from that program, and they're going to run games for us, and we're going to record them and kind of do some sessions at the Stormcrow Manor. So if you're in Toronto, go check out the Stormcrow Manor. It's kind of a pretty rad place, the decor and everything they've set up there. And I would like to run a game for you, as well as in terms of private games. You can't make it to Toronto, we do run private games for our Patreon supporters. So at patreon.com/Terrible Warriors, you can sign up. Every month we run through a game. We've been running through some long form games of Ravenloft and Scion, and we did Masks for a while. And you sign up, we'll join you up with the group. If you want to have a group of your own, you can sign up for a group package, and we'll negotiate which game you'd like to run or have run for you. And so anyway, that's all there. We'd run that. We're going to keep running that through the summer, even when the podcast is kind of going through its thing, because those are still a lot of fun to do. So check that out as well. That was a really fun game.
Those are
Yarr.
very, very good.
Hot damn! I want to do more of those.
No more Pokemon though. I think we've put it to rest.
That's it.
I think that's
I think the next
That
time we
bookends
come
it
back,
well.
it will be Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh shit,
Hi,
guys!
bye.
It's gonna be time to duel.
Until that time, this auspicious future, be good to each other. Bye. Later.
Love you. Bye.
The Terrible Warriors have new episodes out every Tuesday, and next week, return to us, dear listener, for the last campaign in this year's season as we venture forth into the Forbidden Lands. Fiasco is published by Bully Pulpit Games and written by Jason Morningstar, and today's Terrible Warriors were Cassie Chu, Orie Falconer, Julian Spillane, Bree Poison, and Justin Eacock. And happy birthday to Gumbus Late Night Spaghetti, who's listening to this episode on his birthday, because he never misses an episode, right? You actually listen in real time, just like I do when I'm editing this? That's awesome. And until next time, thank you for listening to the Terrible Warriors.